right, welcome back to another episode of That 20s Show. If you're new to this podcast, well, this is a show that it's not depressing. It is not supposed to make you stressed out about life. But, let's admit the fact that in our 20s, life can be a bit annoying. There are a lot of things that we don't understand about life whatsoever. Oh my God, I'm already 23, I'm already 24, and my life is just out of sorts. I don't know what to do with my life. Well, guess what? You're not the only one, because actually celebrities also went through the exact same thing when they were in their 20s. And in this episode, this dude was doing so much when he was in his 20s already, man. He was an actor for his really famous TV show in which I idolized him from the point I watched him. I was like, oh my God, I got to DM this guy. True story, I actually did DM him, by the way. I still have the screenshot in my phone. He's also a TV host for a number of very famous food shows. In fact, whenever you go and see him in public, people are like, oh my God, aren't you that guy? Aren't you that food guy? It is the one and only Razif Hashim.
Yay! Thanks for having me, man.
How would you describe your decade in your 20s?
I did a lot in my 20s. I explored my entire career span in my 20s. I became an actor for all platforms, film, TV. I went on TV hosting. I explored a bit of radio. I did the whole spectrum.
And you were so good at all of that, by the way, if I may add.
Thank you so much for that. And I was very blessed for being given a lot of opportunity as well. Yeah. So that was really cool. But I have to say, I also took the opportunity to leave it all and go study, live in a different country, which really opened my eyes to a lot of things as well. I got to travel a lot, you know what I mean? So, again, I'm very grateful to have a very blessed life in my 20s.
And from the outside, people always look at you as someone very inspirational. I want to have that life. But was it really all that you felt on the inside? Did you really feel, oh my God, this is the life that I want? Or were there also downsides to all of that?
Oh no, there were plenty of downsides, I would say. Because it came with that kind of fame and success. I think a lot of it also had to do with how people perceived you outside of the camera. Then your love life starts to, take a little bit of a sacrifice because people don't know how to be around you. You know what I mean? They behave around you like the person they know on TV, but then they realize, hey, this person is not like that. You know what I mean? And it cost me a lot of issues there. Trying to manage relationships. If there's anything I thought was really bad, was because I spent so much time at work. I missed all my grandparents' birthdays. I missed my parents' birthdays. I missed a lot of my friends' gatherings and dues. I didn't balance it out. You know what I mean? I was so career-centric that a lot of that stuff had to take a back seat. And first it was just 1 year. And then, and I thought, there's always next year. But things just kept coming. And next thing I know, I haven't seen my grandparents in 6-7 months.
Oh my!
And they just live down the street. And these are people that matter to you a lot. It actually makes you question, what have I done? You focus so much on on building yourself, on building your career and things like that. And then you look around and the people who used to be there are gone. I think as anybody would go, as you grow older, these are things you would understand. Nobody's going to be able to be there for you forever. Correct. You know what I mean? Not your parents, not your grandparents, your family, your brothers and sisters even. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to want to go. Everybody's going to have to go through their own path, and it's sad. But the only person who can make a difference for that is you. Yeah. So now then you ask yourself, do I want to create a relationship with that person? And if you do, then you better, get up and do it.
That was the family part. That was the career and family. And actually yesterday, Razif and I actually spoke on the phone. It was a very good conversation because we talked about relationships and love, because he knows that I am a hopeless romantic. Razif, okay, the thing about, if you've seen his TV show when he was in his 20s, I think this was early 2000s. He was in this pretty famous Malaysian TV show. he played this dude named Haikal, and this guy was a jerk. He was that dude that's like, oh, I'm a smooth guy. And I even remember the scene where he picked up this girl. Okay, that girl was played by Sazi Falak. So anyway, you were 24 when you played Haikal in that drama.
Yeah.
In your personal life, let's talk about relationships. Okay, this is off-camera opinion relationships. What were the kind of relationship drama that you had in your 20s? Because I would like we said earlier, your generation and my generation, we've got totally different circumstances. Like for us, social media is in the way whatsoever. For you, when you were in your 20s, social media was not that big yet. So what were the kind of problems that you had in relationships?
I was a bit sensitive, and I was a jealous person. So it stems from the person. If you're not a jealous type of person, then it may skew a different way. So if you want to relate to me, then I'm going to tell you first how I am, and then the rest of you who are not like me, you can sort of try and figure it out. But when you're jealous, when you're possessive, you know what I mean, and naturally just very sensitive, you're bound to have a lot of issues, and that is suffocating the other person. You know what I mean?
And yourself, I believe.
Yes, exactly. So when you're drowning someone else, you're the one drowning first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because you're pulling the other person down. So the interactions would be like, calling every few minutes. You know what I mean? I suppose in today's generation, you might be putting on a tracker to find out where your other half is. I'm
easier
sure
to find it. So, you can just see on Instagram on here, people tag the location on Insta stories whatsoever.
Exactly. Put two and two together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And figure out whether this person is, I don't know, cheating on you, or whether this person is having too much fun with other people, that person might feel that that's something that they want to gravitate to and forget about you. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So it's like, So I would say that was one of the major issues. But I think I was also very, very nice, right? And extremely loyal, that I kind of let some people walk all over me. You know what I mean? In terms of the relationship, there was a lot of giving on my end, right? And no receiving. You know what I mean? But that was kind of my fault as well, because I had this idea that because from all the rom-coms lah, you know what I mean?
Setting unrealistic expectations, okay?
Exactly. And 90s rom-coms, 80s, 90s rom-coms coming out of there was very much like, or the early 2000s as well, their rom-coms were not well thought out. Like I watch rom-coms today and they're much more woke.
Yeah. I think the earlier rom-coms, right, it's very like as if like even if you have problems, right, it's like macam as if senang gila to solve it. Kan macam oh my god, bestnya. So and you don't really feel the heartbreak element from those films because you feel macam like oh my god, you merajuk kejap, the next day the person comes out of the car and it's like, I'm here. I knew you're gonna be back with me, and then and all is good. Hello, please, because of you all lah, we all semua torture on the inside, tau.
Exactly. And that was the kind of moments that you tried to create when I was growing up, and it was just that because we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And our local dramas didn't help either, because it was all about it's a hand in hand thing. Yeah?
Right.
I mean, like it was all about cinta, sejati.
Yeah.
Plus with the Hollywood sprinkles of "you're just too good to be true." That's all. Like, you think you go up in front of a bunch of people and sing a song, then everything's going to be okay.
Settle. Yeah.
Settle there, yeah. But then, like 2 hours later, the same problem occurs because you didn't actually
address the situation. Yes.
As to why that person was actually mad at you in the first place. You know.
Correct.
And then the question is, are you able to come to terms with yourself, to change yourself in order to do that? So like that was my major problem, and I think a lot of us had the same issue, and that was why our relationships was a bit messed up. Whereas today, I don't know what the situation is like in the for the 20s of today.
Worse. Back then, it's like, okay, I called my girlfriend and like, why aren't you free tonight? Oh, I'm with my friends. You jealous? Fine. That was back then punya problems. Sekarang, there's more ways to be heard about that. Because you open Instagram pula, you see the Insta stories dealing with the friends. You tengok Facebook pula, oh my God, like multiple platforms. There's like more platforms to break your heart compared to back then. It was just through the phone, like as in, calling ke, or bergaduh depan-depan ke. Now dengan bergaduh on the phone, kat WhatsApp lah, dekat apa DM. To me, it's ridiculous, but that's what the world has become already.
I think after you get to a certain age, right, once you hit 28, you sort of get stuck, before you switch into your 30s. And that's why the saying goes, you can't teach old dogs new tricks.
Right.
Right. But actually you can, right? It's a matter of whether you want to be susceptible to change. The thing is, the reason I am the way I am is because at one point in time, I've decided this is how I'm going to treat life because I know it best at this point in time. But the technology of the time was as such, you know what I mean? So even though I'm in a world where you have WhatsApp and TikTok and everything else, I'm still sort of living, I'm still sort of like treating the way I handle relationships in that particular state of mind. You know what I mean? So you're going to have a completely different point of view than I am. You know what I mean? Like you're saying, back then, if the phone is a killer, it's because back then all I could do is pick up the phone and only imagine what fun she might be having. Now I can see what fun she's having. Right down to whether she's, dressed appropriately or not with the present company at hand.
Yeah.
You know?
So you mentioned that you are totally past that already. You don't really feel that that internal conflict that you had in which you were so jealous, you were possessive. But okay, possessive in what sense that you were back then?
I mean, like, I guess, okay, some things never change. So I guess you have a fear of missing out, right? The FOMO.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And you want to be there for her for that every moment, or you want to experience everything with her because every moment is a new moment. Again, it's all these words that were psychologically implanted into your mind by 90s, early 2000s rom-coms, right? And so you're never able to fulfill that, and so you feel that you never, that
I'm doing something wrong.
I'm doing something wrong. I'm not fulfilling what I'm supposed to do to become a good, boyfriend, lover, partner, sort of like thing.
Yeah.
But if you come to think of it, right, after a lot of mistakes, after a lot of fights, and you ask yourself, why did we even have that fight? Sebenarnya tak apa pun dia pergi lepak dengan kawan-kawan dia. Sebenarnya dia although mama too shock kat dia, tapi dia tak pun buat apa-apa. She is kind of like faithful to me, that sort of like thing.
Yeah.
And so when you have come to terms with that, then you ask yourself, actually, why did I have to be jealous in the first place? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Where does my insecurities sort of like come from? And I think, had I known this, I could have been a better boyfriend in the past, especially, with a longer term. Maybe my relationships would have spanned more than 2 years.
And example. You could have been happier in those relationships, rather than much overthinking here and there.
Yeah.